All right. Good afternoon, colleagues. Welcome to the second edition of Prof. Nwaru's Career Talks 101. Career Talks 101. So you're welcome. We usually ask if you can use use the chat box to tell a bit about yourself. Today we are looking at something that is important: foundations. Foundations as they relate to career, foundations as they relate to career, and I hope that the end of today we will pick one or two things from today. So you're welcome, and I indulge you to relax and be part of the conversation. Okay, so we have had the first edition in January. So this is bi-monthly. The next edition will be in May. But we'll have another activity the month between. So next week, Friday, we're going to have what we call career audit. It's a place for consultation. We have 2 hours from 12 noon to 2 p.m. the first Friday of the month after the career talk workshop. So there you come, we'll have conversations. Sometimes it will be in groups. You ask questions. There may be things that are bothering you, things you want to clarify, and so on and so forth. So today is about foundations, or building a solid foundations, or doing the first things that you need to do when you are stepping into the academic career. And I have to say that because of people not doing this or not doing it well, they end up really in a bad shape. Sometimes they end up regretting. Sometimes they end up stiffening their bright future, their bright career. Okay, so it is important to build a foundation. Foundations can also be rebuilt. Foundation can also be rebuilt. That is clear. It depends on how destructive they have become. Okay, today we had earthquake from one of these Asian countries, Myanmar, I think, and if you see the devastation, some of the structures cannot. You have to destroy them entirely and build again. Some can be amended, so it depends on where you are. But it is important that you work on the foundation, whether you're starting or you have already started. So this is the career talks, how we'll be moving this year. So we have had the first edition in January, as I mentioned. Today is about foundations. And then in May, we have the structures. In July, we have the roof. In September, we have the decorations. And in November or December, we'll have the store. So we are using the um, building a structure framework to go through what we'll be doing this year with regards to the real talks. Okay. All right. What is a foundation? We all know what it is. We all know what it is. Foundation, as you see defined here, refers to the lower part of a structure, which is designed to distribute the weight of the new building evenly and provide a firm root. Even though we all know what a foundation is, it is not obvious that we appreciate what it actually is. And this is for obvious reasons. Most often, once the building is completed, we don't see it anymore. And so because we most often deal with the things our physical eyes see, and because we don't see it anymore, we tend not to mind it. We tend not to recognize it. We tend even to behave as if it is not there. But I tell you, amongst everything you have in the structure, in the building, the foundation is the most important. The foundation is the most important. I hope you agree with me. Because it is the foundation that every other thing is put upon. All right? And so if the foundation is good enough, you can remove and replace other things. But removing and replacing the foundation is not that easy. And often you have to remove every other thing that's on top of it before you can maybe rebuild the foundation. Not in every case, but often. So the foundation becomes critical. Foundation is a symbol, of many things that happens to us as people. It's a symbol. So even though we use the house or the structure or the building to illustrate this, it's a symbol of the core aspect of our life, the things that need to be there before we can put any other thing. It applies to career as well. So if you want to build a career that lasts, then the foundation is crucial. Your foundation is your beginning. That is where you are starting. Your foundation is your definition. Your foundation is your baseline. Your foundation is your launch pad. Your foundation is your personal genesis, your building blocks. It is your background. You see, many of us have attitudes to life that we tend to try to ignore it. I mean, even in family lines. I don't know what religion you belong, but regardless of what religion you belong, the foundation of humanity always has an influence in the destination. The foundation of humanity, if you come from a family that people think positive, your chances of thinking positive is high. If you come from a family that people think negative, your chances of thinking negative is high. I have my 13-year-old girl who tells me that, oh, do you know that one girl in my class, mm, of my age, okay? Do you know that she actually smokes and she drinks? I said, really? Wow. So early? And you know what? I told her, I think either of her parents smokes and drinks. She said, yes, that her mother smokes and drinks, of course. It's as simple as that. What she's doing, she may not like it, but the foundation. And her mother's mother, if you check it well, or her mother's father might have been like that. The foundation is crucial. It's crucial for real development. Many people start and they don't end well. They don't end the way they expected. They start shining and then it was more artificial and they disappear from the scene. Why? Foundation. Foundation is important. So what is your career foundation? What is your baseline? What are your building blocks? Where do you derive the strength? Because what happens is that there are clouds in the air of career. There are difficult times, there are tough times, there are raining days, there are stormy days, there are things, there are competitions that can pull you off. But I tell you, once the foundation is strong, you always go there to tap to survive. The foundation determines the stability and longevity of any structure. Yes, the stability, how stable you are, which indicates that, when the storms and the rains come, your ability to endure. The word they call it is resilient. How you can endure the present. It determines your stability and it determines how far you can go. How far you can go. How long you can last. Okay? How long you can still be around. Foundation. That. Characteristics of a foundation. Foundations are expensive to build. My goodness. This is loaded. You want to talk about expensive in monetary terms? Expensive in resources that you invest in doing that? Expensive in terms of patience? Expensive in terms of time? Expensive in terms of attitude? In this part of the world where I live, once the foundation is set, my goodness, if you pass through a street they started building and you pass there when they have finished the foundation, go there next week. What you see is that they are at the roof. And this, I'm talking about high level buildings. Because what they do is that the structures, what we are going to be talking about in May, the structures of the building, the windows, the blocks, they are ready made in a factory that are specialized in making those structures. So they go and buy them and then they fix the fix. So it's not in what happens in some of our places where you begin to put the blocks one by one. No, they have those structures. So all you need is put the foundation. But I tell you, the foundations in some of those buildings can take months before it comes to the surface. Foundations are expensive to build. And this is a call. This is a call to every one of us, including myself. Are you able to invest the resources that you need for the foundation? Whether you're starting or you're trying to rebuild, it can be expensive. Foundations require meticulous and systematic steps to get them right. That's what I was trying to explain. That these guys spend months measuring things, sitting down, thinking, and so on and so forth. When it comes to career, many of us want to fly. We want to be on the speed lane. Want to be with Sembo. Who is the next one now? There's this I read some time ago. I don't remember his name. From South Sudan. This guy who I think he's 17 years old now, who has broken many records in Australia during the Sudanese listing. He was very young when his parents took him to Australia, and now he's one breaking those records there. Well, he's an African anyway. The African blood is in it. But the fact is that many of us want to be on that lane. That is not the lane. Speed lane is not the lane to be when you're building a foundation. That is why here, once the foundation is done, you see the building itself goes fast. When you're doing the foundation, it requires meticulous, systematic, strategic planning to get it right. And then the third thing is foundations are usually not visible when the house is complete. But the effects are undoubtable. My goodness. Foundations are usually not visible when the house is completed. Maybe you're living in a story building. You're living on the 6th floor. You have nothing to do with the foundation. You don't see it. But the effects are undoubtable. You can't doubt their effects. Because when the storm comes and you hear the noise, the effect of the foundation begins to manifest. And if you are living in a house, the foundation is not good. You better start doing something. When you start hearing that noise, it's better you begin to look for the nearest door. Well, that shouldn't happen to you now. But that is the reality of life. You can see those buildings there. You see? Anybody ask this question, what happened to this house? Or what happened to this? It is the foundation. It doesn't matter what the house is carrying. It doesn't matter how beautiful the roof is. It doesn't matter how nice the windows. Or it doesn't even matter what is inside. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what decorations you have put on that house. The effects of a foundation are undoubtable. When it comes to career, if you do not build a solid, a strong career foundation, the effects will be undoubtable. Types of foundations. Internal structure will determine the type of foundation you build. Also, the soil type determines the type of foundation. Two things. Two things determine the choice of foundation you build. Because actually, there are two types of foundations. We call the shallow foundation and deep foundation. So if you are just building normal house, just normal, domestic, small buildings, the common, okay, take the shallow one. It can keep you. But when you're building tall, commercial, residential buildings, strong ones, then you need deep foundation. You need deep foundation. How does it relate to your career? Many of us are ambitious, very ambitious. I don't know. Those who are here, let me see here. If you can help me, I just want to ask a question. If you can help me repeat, there are 51 of us here. I want to ask you, how many are professors here? If I stop sharing, let me see. How many are full professors? I don't mean associate professor. In Africa, they mix everything. Associate professor, they call them professor. No, we don't do that here. There is only one professor. Professor. Every other person, if you have doctoral degree, doctor. All right, okay, let me forget. So how many are full professors here? Already full professors. Okay. How many desire to be professors? I mean, that is ambition. You want to go to the highest. Of course, I understand not everyone of us here is in the academia. But those who are in the academia, how many want to reach the level of being a professor? Okay? Full professor. Yeah? I can see 3 hands, 4 hands. No, keep the hand. Don't bring the hand down. Just keep it. Just raise it. Raise it. Raise it. Just check the raise hand button there. Your desire is to reach the top of being a professor. That's your desire. Just keep the hand. Keep it. Keep bringing the hand. I want to see the hand. If your desire is to reach the level of being a professor, that is your desire. All right. That is, don't bring it down. Don't bring it down. Don't bring it down. I want to finish what I'm trying to do here. So we are 54 a number, and I can see 19. If you have not raised your hand there, you are not included in this number. I can see 19. 19 of us. 19 of us have raised your hand. Okay? Okay. So you see, we have it here 35%. We are 54 and 19 of us. Is that right? Yeah. 35% of us desire. Yeah, it can be a hand down now. Thank you very much. But do you know if this really happens? If I take that, okay, all of us here were in the same institution. Do you know that if this really happens, it has broken the Guinness World Record, that 35% of colleagues got to the level of professorship. No. The average that is known globally is 3 to 5%. 3 to 5% of those who completed their PhD end up becoming professors. Of course, many people move to other places, to governments, to non-profits, to industry. You can be your hands now. Yeah? Move to different places. But the point I'm trying to make here is this. Those who become professors are like the high flyers, the one on the right side. It means if you want to be a high flyer, your foundation should not be shallow. Your foundation should be deep. This one. Your foundation should be deep. And one of the things I will mention here in terms of foundations you need to be, you see, many of us are ambitious. You see, we have raised our hands. But the challenge is that we have not built a foundation that will take us to that place we want to be. Yeah, we have not. We have not. If you want to be a high flyer, want to get to that level, not just being a professor. All right? That some professors said, let them go. But if you want to be one that is recognized, that makes a necessary impact, then you need a deep foundation. So it means that you need to start with the end in mind. Start with the end in mind. That which you want to be. You want to have a high building? You want to have a just normal building? Should determine the type of foundation you take. So start with your end in mind. That which you want to be should determine which of these foundations you choose. Yeah, so what I was saying before, the academia realities. Only 3 to 5% of PhD holders in academia eventually become professors. If you don't want to be one, then this is where you are. Above 90%. Well, just there and okay, at the end, retire. Thank you very much. I've done my best. But if you want to end in the 3 to 5%, then a deep foundation is needed. Why? Why 3 to 5%? Look at what Lawrence Peter is saying. Competition in academia is so vicious because the stakes are so small. Where I was trained in Finland, they have a weird system. Okay? And that system is a system that professors are so prestigious that it's not given anyhow. It's not a system where, okay, I have made a criteria to be a professor. Let me apply to be a no. It's a system where do they have the need? So it may be in your department. And the only need they have is they need only 3 professors in that, or 4 professors, or 5 professors. They can appoint a new one only when one of those 5 retires. So if it happens that, oh, you want to be a professor and you're older than all of them, it means that you will retire before them. My goodness. You will retire before them. Yes. That is the truth. So until maybe somebody retires or somebody moves away from there, that is their system. That's why it says that because the stakes are so small. But if it is in a competitive environment whereby you can apply for promotion, then it may be easier, but you need to still do something. You need to still have a deep foundation. So, what do you want to become? Where do you want to end your journey? If you want to end your journey, normally with the over 90% of those who have their PhDs, then a shallow foundation is enough for you. You don't even need to attend this lecture, this workshop actually. You don't need to. You can still do without it. But now 35% of you, perhaps others who have not raised their hand is because they are not in the academia. All right? They are not in the academia. But if you are in the academia and you want to make that difference, then you need a deep foundation. Why a solid foundation? There are three main functions of a foundation: to support the structure's load, to support your career load, to support your career messes, to support your career fame. Well, I will use fame, yes, to support your career fame, to support the trouble, your career troubles. Two is that because, let me finish the one. The one is that the structure can be so heavy, can carry lots of things. Can you imagine? You have a skyscraper of 20 stories, offices, and different offices have different things, equipment in their offices, apart from the fact that they're carrying human beings, but the structure still supports. So that structure really needs to be so deep in their foundation. The two is that it keeps the building standing and stable. I mentioned that before. Because the storms will come beyond the things that the foundation carries. There are things that will come to try to push the foundation, and the foundation will remain stable. Not little air that blows, then it goes off. No. And then number three, protect it from natural disasters. Today we're talking about the earthquake that has happened. All right. You have houses close to the river, or flood comes and it sweeps lots of houses. But if you have thought beforehand and you build your foundation strong, it will stand. Okay? The rainy days will come. The competition can be rife. The stormy days will come. But only careers built on a solid foundation can survive. Only careers built on a solid foundation can survive it. That is why the stakes are small. Competition is vicious. The stakes are small. But only careers that are built on solid foundation survive it. So whether the load on you is huge, whether there are things that can maybe internally or externally shake your stability, or whether there are natural disasters that come, if you do not have a solid foundation, you'll be in trouble. They can sweep you away. But if you have a solid foundation, I tell you, you'll be the last man standing. It doesn't mean that it will not shake you. No. Okay? It will shake you. but you will stand. Okay, let me talk a few minutes about the foundations that you need. Many people fall out because they are not on the right career path. They made their choice wrongly. And sometimes I will talk about that later. It's because of ambition that is not realistic. Oh, I was in university, you see, many people are, I don't know how it is in other countries. My sister was talking to me last week and was telling me, oh, that this her friend wants to go to the UK or US to go. She's a nurse. She wants to go and find work there and work here in Nigeria. So, well, that is good if her calling is to go to US or UK. But if her calling is not to go to US or UK, my sister, she'll be frustrated. She'll be frustrated. Personally, I love what I'm doing. But if you're going there is so that you can be like others, you make money, all that, you work and you work and you work. You come home. If you're a parent, you don't even have time for your kids. You don't have time for your life. You're struggling to do what you're actually doing. If you're given a choice, you will not be on that path, but something puts you there. Maybe you want to make money. Myself was telling me, see, this is my friend, this thing you're talking about. I don't know that is how it is. Because now, her daughter is doing nursing. Her son is doing nursing. The other son is also talking about nursing. I say, yeah, that is the language of we want to make money. But are those children all born to do nursing? Are they all born to do nursing? Perhaps not. So many people fall out of the way when they are not on the right career path. The first foundation you need to is foundation of the right career. Because in the academia, you see, once you earn a doctoral degree, there are various ways you can go. Postdoc, associate professor, then you continue, senior lecturer, professor. This is, of course, Swedish. There are also administrators. There are also those who go to the public sector, go to work for government. There are those who go to industry. You need to ensure you have the right career path. Some of us, well, that is what I have. What I don't have, it's nothing more. Foundation of positive attitudes. I think I showed this slide last one. Positive attitudes. Passion, curiosity, ignorance, failure, persistence, patience, creativity, networking, flexibility, communicative, humble, hunger. Many of them, these are positive attitude. If you want to build a career that lasts, buy them. For women, carry them as your handbag because you will need each of them at different junctures of your career. Passion is what keeps you going. Curiosity is what makes your science never ends because you keep asking questions. Oh, And you can see the beauty that comes from that. You need to build a foundation of positive attitudes. Don't be carried away by, or you think that it's rosy. No, the attitude that you need to take you on that path. And do away with the negative ones, pessimism, negative self-talk, gossips, and so on and so forth. Your attitude, they say, determines your altitude. For success, attitude is equally as important as ability. So you may have your ability, you may have the technical know-how, but if you lack the right attitude, you will falter. Foundation of right degree. Many of you raise your hand. Maybe you have already had your doctoral degree, but know that if you want to enter into a tenure position, to become a profession, maybe except those from the medical area, that there are some exceptions because of their training. But if you're not, then know that PhD is required. Okay, it's required. When you get that PhD, I beg you, please, know that it's only a PhD. I say it's only a PhD because that is what it is. So let nobody deceive you. Maybe, I don't know, there are some senior colleagues here. If you agree with me, of course, you can give me a thumbs up. Although I'm telling you, it is only a PhD. I have a book here that I read. I actually bought it intentionally. It says, PhD is not enough. And that is the truth. Know that PhD is a foundational degree. Look at this figure here. This is where it starts. Oh, it starts here. Oh, don't begin to say, oh, I'm a doctor. Oh, you can write it at the beginning or the end of your name. It doesn't matter. It's only a foundational degree. So get that degree. But as you progress, know that it's a foundational, it's foundation, it's your beginning. It's the beginning of your journey. PhD is not enough. Once you earn it, you have to intentionally embark on capacity building. I have seen things, trust me. This is where many people make mistakes and they fall out. When they think that having a PhD, they have arrived, you're just starting. And until you begin to clear your mind and know that PhD is the beginning. So for those who want to be among the 3 to 5%, once you get it, dust it and put it there, and then take another journey, a journey of refinement, a journey of growth, a journey of developing skills and capacity. Many of the things I know today, well, I will come back to that. There was a time in my career journey that I put time and went to the wilderness. I think I've mentioned this a number of times. Yes. The wilderness. I went to the wilderness. I'm not saying the wilderness of Middle East. No. I went to a place where I went to myself. Well, I went into myself and I told myself some facts. I need to develop my skills. And so many of the things I know today I do were not the things I was taught in my PhD classes. Some of us think that because you have appendix doctor in your name, that no, that doesn't take you anywhere. Anyway. Okay, yeah, that is the thing. Foundation of sufficient time in the wilderness. The wilderness is a place you learn to survive. It's a place you learn to be tough. You need a sufficient time there before you soar. What is happening today? Social media. People are posting this, posting that, posting that, posting that. People want to sell themselves. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. But have you been in the wilderness enough? Have you developed enough? You need the wilderness experience. I went to the wilderness and I was there for years, for years. And the things I was doing was self-discipline, survival, training myself, going through it again, fighting things, resources, getting resources here and there, trying to build myself. Be in the wilderness. Be there enough. When you come out, you wouldn't know how much impact you'll be making. So please build a foundation of sufficient time in the wilderness. So what I'm saying in essence is find that place to develop your skills. Don't depend on degrees. I have this, I have that. No, the world has passed that now. Even in the academia, all right? We may find healing while traversing the wilderness. We may grow in strength, resilience, courage, or faith. We may learn how to better to give and receive love. Or the wilderness may teach us to live with part of our lives that cannot be changed. It is in the wilderness. The wilderness. Foundation of understanding, knowledge, and intelligence. You see, many of us enter the academic career without knowing what is in it, without knowing how competitive it is, without knowing that it's slow, without knowing that it doesn't pay much, without knowing that it is a community service you're doing here, without understanding the peculiarities of their environment. What happens in your environment? Oh, you see what happened there? Is there something they're doing down at university? This is the way they do. But what is happening in your own environment? You need intelligence. You need to gather intelligence. You must have the right understanding, knowledge, and intelligence that you need to navigate. That is the word. To navigate. So please take time. Whether you are trying to build or you are in it, you want to refine your foundation, do intelligence gathering. In my own field, what does it require to be a professor? In my own field, what does it require to publish? In my own field, what does it require to soar? In my own field, what does it require to be a reputable scientist? Do intelligence gathering. You need to build a foundation so that when you enter, you know the expectations. And then you can plug the right things to achieve the results. Foundation of networking. It is we affair more than an I affair. Those who go alone, they say, they die alone. In the academia, it doesn't matter wherever you are. It is we. Success and productivity depend very much on networking and collaboration. Somebody was telling me, oh, wow, you have published a lot. I said, really? Yeah, my goodness. Okay. So what does that have to do with anything? It has to do with collaboration. If it was me doing it, my goodness, I am a very lazy side, very lazy one, in fact. But when you collaborate, when you network, the productivity and successes, it's dependent on that. So you need to build a foundation of networking. Who is doing what in your field? Start from your local vicinity, in your institution, in the institution close to you, in your nation, in your continent, International. Who is doing what? Who are they? Okay. First of all, I'm not saying send email to them. Know who they are. Okay. When you know who they are, then begin to know what are they doing? What is their track record? What distinguishes them? What makes them who they are? Okay. Don't you are nobody. You want to go and collaborate with this. You want to collaborate with big names. Start from where you are. Charity begins at home first. Start doing something from your vicinity. For me, I receive many emails. Majority of those, I don't reply them. That is the way it works. Then I say, oh, this person wants to, this person is proud. No, it's not pride. It's a birds of the same feather flies together. That is the way it is. My goodness. So you have to start building. Because when you grow, you begin to see the realities. When you send email, the first thing, Google is a friend. Who is this? What does he do? What does he have? What ideas are you bringing on board? But the fundamental thing here is that you need to build a foundation of networking. Foundation of realistic ambition. Many of us have ambition, you see, but they are not realistic. It means some of those things I have mentioned now, they don't have the understanding, the knowledge. It's not realistic. They don't have a strategy to achieve those ambitions. They just want to be this, want to be that. The preparations are not there. Okay? Like I mentioned, in Finland, most often you see, maybe they're changing the system now, having tenure track positions. But if you're in an institution where it is until somebody retires, you want to be a professor, then be realistic. It's either you accept the situation or you move to another place. Okay? You have to develop yourself. You have to know that there are obstacles, there are storms, there are rains. You have to prepare yourself. You have to understand your environment. Build a foundation of realistic ambition. Foundation of loyalty. Yes, this is very important. Many of us want to capitalize on others to get to where we are going. You will fail. You will fail. If you have that mindset, you will fail. And it doesn't matter whatever you know. You come to do your PhD. You have become, you know better than your supervisor. Be loyal. Be loyal. Your boss is always your boss. In this part of the world, you want to go to something, you want to feel your fun, you want to apply for it. They will always tell you your PhD is for who is your PhD supervisor. Be loyal. Be loyal to your PhD supervisor for life. Or any of your supervisors, be loyal, because one day you go to a place where they'll ask you, I want to get recommendation from my PhD supervisor. I want to get recommendation from your master's degree supervisor. Be loyal. Some of us capitalize on others. We use others and we kick them out. We begin to, because of the little skill and knowledge we have developed, we begin to treat those we have climbed on their shoulders to become what we are. We begin to, so please build a foundation of loyalty. Let it be part of your life. All the rest of your life, be loyal. Even God himself is loyal. Yes. So please, this is very crucial. Foundation of capacity building, I mentioned this. Your relevance depends on your currency. How current you are. Current in skills. Current in knowledge. Current in networking. So please build a foundation of capacity building. This relates to where I say foundation of sufficient time in the wilderness. Foundation of not only I have PhD, but developing yourself. And the other ones, for the sake of time, foundation of discipline, foundation of open mind, foundation of aim for impact, foundation to handle the fame. This is very important. Yesterday, I was invited. I got an email last year. There's some research I have done. Okay, that is not my primary side now. I did it about 12 years ago, and then we did an update a few years back. And I got this email. We have a meeting uh, um, um, in your city in Gothenburg on the 27th of March, and we would like you to be one of the keynote speakers. So on this topic, okay, that's okay, no problem. I can speak on that, and we agreed. So yesterday I went there to make my presentation. So the person who invited me, I was my first time of meeting him, and the first time of him meeting me. So he was telling me when he was introducing me, do you know how I got to know you? He was asking me. I said, I don't know. He said, I was looking for someone who will speak on this topic. And what I did was I went to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT, who is the best to speak on this topic in Sweden? He said he was asking ChatGPT. And ChatGPT brought my name. And of course, that is not a Swedish name. That is, he didn't know me, of course. I said, he changed the settings, he changed the keywords, and he asked ChatGPT again, who is the best? And ChatGPT brought my name. He said, ChatGPT did 3 times. And then he went to check me. And when he checked me and he saw the things I have done on this topic, now, anyway, I don't know him, but let me send him email. And he sent me email and he said, oh, you are so kind, you reply positively. Thank you for coming. It's okay. So I did my presentation. After my presentation, he said, ChatGPT is always right. From your presentation, now I see that ChatGPT was right, that we had the perfect person. What point I'm making is this. Fame will come. How do you handle the fame? Build a foundation that will help you to handle the fame. And that foundation is impact. Your goal is to make impact. Servicehood. Your goal is to serve humanity. Your goal is to serve your community. Your goal is to serve your nation. Your goal is to serve your discipline. The fame will come, but put the fame where it belongs. Put the fame where it belongs. Put it where it belongs. Okay? So please build a foundation of humility. Build a foundation of humility. And the fame will continue to come. All right? Okay, let me just say that. Then the other thing I would like to say is social media. Social media is a friend. I mentioned the wilderness experience. Sorry, the time is, but I will finish what I'm saying because it's so important. Some of you came late anyway. So I mentioned the wilderness experience. Social media is not what builds your career. That's from foundations you need to build. In fact, the time will come when social media will even be selling you without you even going to social media. So if you think that social media will build your career, no, it doesn't build your career. Those things I've mentioned now. Be in the wilderness enough. Even though somebody is writing here to say that, but the wilderness is hot and dry. Yes, endure it. When you come out, you will shine. I tell you, you wouldn't even remember that it was hot and dry. You wouldn't even remember that. So what I'm saying is that be disciplined with your social media. Be disciplined. Don't think, oh, somebody is doing it, then you do it. Build a career that is disciplined. Know what you post on social media. It's not everything that happens that you post on social media. Okay? This guy didn't know me, and I stood there and I made my presentation yesterday. Okay? Wow. If not for ChatGPT, I wouldn't know. Yes. Let people discover you. Don't shout too much. Let them discover you. When they discover you, they will stick with you. They will stick with you. Foundation of strategy, it requires strategy. Yeah, I think I will take that up in the next one. Foundation of process versus results. Some of us want results. Our collaboration is because of results. I want to get that. And once the results are not coming, you run away. But I tell you, processes, I value results, but processes, if you establish those foundations, I tell you, the other things will come naturally by themselves. Foundation of excellence. Foundation of flexibility. Don't be stiff. Some of us are very stiff. All right? Okay? So this is what I have today. We'll continue next, the structures. Now we have talked about the foundation. We need to talk about the structures. What do you put? The structures include things like the walls, the windows, the doors. Yes. Okay? We'll talk about that in May. All right. Yeah, framing the structures. Framing the structures. This is not web, but that's on 30th of May. That is the third edition. And then the career audit. Some of you are already asking the questions, how many years in the wilderness and all that? Please come next Friday. Let's discuss that. A career audit consultation. It will be actually, sorry, this is not right. 12 noon to 2 p.m. 12 noon to 2 p.m. next. Okay, on Sunday, we are looking at sociology of research collaboration. You know, our theme this year is from collaboration to impact. And then we are continuing next Sunday. And the collaborative research groups will also be meeting to make progress. So please join us on Sunday. And the art of academic supervision is there. And this aligns with what we have talked about today. Many people are supervisors, but they have no clue of what it means to be a supervisor. Okay? It's not only training or rules, it requires some art. And we invite you, it's a very low cost course. We invite you to join us in that course. And then making sense of data. I mentioned developing your skills. This is one skill that you will not fail to develop, the skill of data analysis. So please join us. And SFI Research Journal is still there. So if you want to publish your research, so please join us in SFI Research Journal. Send your papers. Okay. Yes, thank you, colleagues, for today. Now I will let you go, as you also let me go. Yeah, the mics are unmuted now, so you can say hello if you want to talk. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you
very much.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Prof.
Professor.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Prof. That was insightful.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.